Hey, thanks for tuning in today. As you know, if you listen to this podcast, earlier this week, I did a 3-part series on the top 21 books that I recommend. And I was lovely to see this post from Julia Van Gra, who actually took action on this. So what she shared was this. She wrote, "How do you build deep, trusting relationships? I'm going down a bit of a rabbit hole at the moment, talking to our clients, team, and consuming a lot of content to see how I can improve my approach to building deeper relationships. Leanne Hughes sent a newsletter the other day, re a great book, Give to Grow by Mo Bunnell. I bought it straight up on Leanne's recommendation." Just pause there. How cool is that? Thank you so much, Jules, for buying that and for having trust in my recommendation. Back to the post. She wrote, "Only a couple of chapters in, it highlights the shifts from selling to developing deep, trusted relationships and how consistently showing up with generosity is the way forward. On the same day, the tradies working on our place turned up with treats for us. They're being paid for renovating our bathrooms, but have shown up every day with generosity. A great example of how the small things can make a big difference in building deeper relationships. How do you think about this, and what's your Give to Grow move?" And she has this image of these delicious treats. I am getting hungry looking at this image. But first of all, it's so cool. I don't take it for granted that I can write a list of recommendations and listeners, readers end up buying the things and it has an impact for them as well. So I wanted to double click on Mo's book because when I did the overview, I kind of gave you 1 or 2 sentences about the book. But why I love the book Give to Grow is what Mo does very cleverly at the beginning of the book is talks about the mindset shift between doing the work versus winning the work and how they're different skill sets. So doing the work is all about executing, delivering, meeting expectations. Winning the work is building relationships, getting buy-in, getting future opportunities. And he argues that these are almost opposite skill sets and you cannot succeed long-term if you only focus on one of these. Another major point is that he shares it's always your move and there's always a way that you can be helpful. So even when clients or prospects are quiet, you can find ways to add value or stay top of mind. So this encourages proactivity and service mindset rather than waiting for permission to contact someone. I don't technically have a CRM which reminds me every 90 days I've got to contact this person, but more a case of when I'm out running or walking and I think of someone or I read something, I think, that would be useful for that person. I then in that moment take the next step to do it. So it's not weird, awkward. It's I genuinely thought of you, so that's why I'm sending this to you. He shares the 5 lies that hold people back. And these are false internal beliefs that limit our relational growth. For example, things like they don't have time, they're too busy. I'll be a pest if I contact them. So there's a lot of lies that we have to work through. I'm not going to share all of them. I definitely recommend the book I have already. And there's different ways of deepening relationships, not just by giving gifts, which is one of the ways that Jules shares in her LinkedIn post, but different ways of providing value. And something that I often say is a lot of people think providing value is giving someone an opinion or expertise or being of service or helpful. But sometimes, and I've maybe said this a few times this year on the podcast, even just making someone laugh is providing value. Even giving someone the space to listen to them is another way of adding value. Just hanging out with someone, making that time. These are all ways to add value. There's also an element here of, I know many business owners, myself included, if you are caught in that space of delivering work, then how do you make the time to deepen relationships? Because a lot of this stuff is not scalable, inherently. It's about you being there, one-to-one. So how do you do that? A few ideas that he shares is you don't treat relationship building as an extra. It's actually part of the way that you operate. So just make it part of your routines, your rituals, including check-in, how do you share resources. When I see something interesting and I find it useful, then I want to share it with someone else. That is a way of deepening a relationship. So it's not a separate activity. It's actually tied to, hey, I'm learning something else. I think so-and-so might enjoy this, so I'll forward it to them. It's just the way that you operate. But there's also an element here of cutting to climb. So to take your work to the next level and to have time to build these relationships, you have to cut low impact activities to free your capacity to build relationships, to do strategic work, whereas our brains tend to add tasks rather than subtract. So a good question here is, what can you stop doing to help build a better relationship? So yeah, it's a really great read. It really surprised me because often some of these books about selling or business development are just awful. And this one was more human, really human. I love his approach. And I'm glad that Jules resonated with it as well. Thanks for listening. I'll speak to you tomorrow.